My name is KK. I'm 29 years old, and I've never read or watched any of the Twilight series. What are you gonna do about it? I cannot believe the response I got when I mentioned that I've never read this on my Instagram and my TikTok, and we went to the library. I checked out Twilight because honestly, I don't know if she deserves my coin yet. I'll be the judge of that after I read this. And if you're wondering what my bookmark is, it is Mexican candy. It is a watermelon lollipop thing. And you know what? I don't really want to hear your opinion about it unless you like it. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you about what I know about this thing, because obviously Twilight is huge. It came out the book came out in 2005, I believe. I have no idea when the first movie came out. I don't even know the order of these books. And I feel like I'm doing myself a disservice. Like, this is a rite of passage as a real reader. And I'm a real reader. So I'm really reading Twilight. I'm a little nervous. Okay, so what I know about Twilight is that there's a girl named Bella Swan. And there is a love triangle of some sort with Edward, who I believe is a vampire, and Jacob, who I believe is a werewolf. That's all I know. I, of course, have seen like memes, so I know like the vibe of the movies. Muted, grayed out colors. I have learned reading the first 20 pages of this book that it takes place in Forks, Washington. And just like I have said previously, after reading the first 20 pages, give me the spoons. Give me the spoons! So that's really all I know. I know 3 characters. I know nothing else about them. And that's gonna change. So I've read 20 pages of this book. I'm about to continue reading. But I am at the part where Bella has moved in with her dad. And this is, oh, by the way, spoiler alert. If you don't wanna be spoiled, I'm gonna give you 1 second to click off this video. That was more than 1 second, you're welcome. So what I do know is that Bella has moved to Forks with her dad. It rains 95% of the year there. And her dad's like this big hotshot sheriff. And she goes to a new school where everyone, of course, knows the last name Swan because we stan Charlie Swan, right? As the city of Forks, we collectively stan Charlie Swan. So everyone's like, oh, you're Isabella Swan? Of course. Go to class. If you need anything, filet mignon, anything, let us know. That's a direct quote from the book. She goes to school, she is like getting looks. Everyone's very interested in her because she's a new girl and she's Sheriff Swan's daughter. And we're at lunch now. We're at lunch, and across from the cafeteria, Bella Swan spots a table of very interesting looking people. And they aren't talking to each other. They're not making eye contact. They're not interacting at all. They're just kind of sitting there, but they are gorgeous. They look like models. They look like they're on the cover of, what did they say? Sports Illustrated or something like that. Bella asks her new friend, who she doesn't even remember her name, and honestly, I can relate to that. She asks her friend, she's like, who are those people? And of course, Edward Cullen is there, and all of his like adoptive family. And apparently the thing that has really creeped me out early on is, and you probably already know what I'm about to say, is that they're adopted by someone who seems to be around my age. These are teenagers in high school. They can drive, I believe. I haven't confirmed their ages yet, but they can drive because Bella can drive, and I'm assuming they're all the same age. I'm 29, and I'm just wondering how it would be to adopt. I don't even know how many teenagers there are. I don't know. There's 5 or 6 of these beautiful people. I can't say they're humans. I don't really know because they don't eat, they don't talk, they don't make eye contact, and they're all together. That word together was italicized. Together. And they live together. And there's a set of them that are twins or siblings or something. And I just want to know, the person that adopted them is like 20s or 30s, Mr. Cullen. I am 20s or 30s, and the thought of adopting 5 to 6 teenagers who don't interact with each other, who don't eat, who don't talk, and are together, it makes me want to upchuck. So I'm gonna continue reading. I'll check back in with the updates. I'm gonna split these vlogs up by book. So this is gonna be me reading this book because this thing is thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. I will see you in the next check-in, and I'm sure I'll be cringing and cringing and hopefully enjoying it. I don't know whose hands these are, but if these are one of the Cullen's hands, I know they didn't eat that apple. Been a few days. Hey, y'all still here? Hey, I'm currently on a road trip, and I thought, since it's been very hard for me to pick this book up, and it's not because of the book, I just have not had time to just sit down and read. So what I'm gonna do is I purchased this on Audible. You heard that right, purchased, meaning I spent money. Wait, where is it? Twilight, holla if you hear me. I've read 3 chapters, so I am still at the very beginnings on chapter 4. So this is where I'm at here, and we're gonna read. I have about an hour left until I get home. I'm actually going to Memphis for Mother's Day to celebrate my mama and my grandmothers, and I actually have 2 great grandmothers still alive, so that is such a blessing. So I'm excited to go to Memphis. Coming from Nashville, it's a few hours. I have about an hour left. I just stopped and got a little bit of food. It's 7:30, so I'm getting there a little bit late, 7:30 p.m. So I'll probably get there about 8:30, and we're gonna read for about an hour. I will check in at some point, but I wanted to give this update. I will probably keep my camera there, and we will see. I wonder how the audio is going to sound. Let's see.
Chapter 4, Invitations. In my dream, it was very dark, and what dim light there was seemed to be radiating from Edward's skin.
I read books on about 3 times speed, and normally I start a little bit slower at 2.75 times speed. I don't know if you can even see it. Anyway, trust me, it's on 2.75. I try to like work my way up. I kind of start at 2 and then work my way up to 3. No particular reason, just ADHD. But yeah, let's turn some air on in here because it's getting hot in here. Okay, so we're gonna listen to this fast talking girl.
I wondered to myself why no one else had seen me standing so far away before you suddenly and possibly saving my life. With chagrin, I realized
okay, bye. Are we supposed to skip over the fact that Edward Cullen stopped a huge van with his hand? No bars. I think I might have skipped over that. Like, I know he's a vampire, but I don't really know what that means, right? Like, I know the basic premise. First of all, I'm driving into the sunset, and that might be the best decision I've made all day. Here it comes. Hold on, here it comes, period. I never addressed the fact that Edward Cullen saved Bella's life by stopping a van with the palm of his hand and then didn't talk to her for 6 weeks. What? And just from reading this book, I know Edward's foster dad, stepdad, adopted dad, brother, whatever they are, I know he fine. I just feel a rumbling in my gut about it. Okay, I'm listening. I just don't know if I ever really sat here and said how crazy that was. So do vampires have super strength? Or is that just like the vampires in this book? All right, back to the book. I'm listening to this book and I'm just now realizing that I need to have a talk with Bella Swan, because how do you have all of these men lining up for you? Huh? You got Tyler, Edward, what's the other one? Mikey, Daniel, Gino, Nicholas, Steven, all boy, hold on, let me fix you. You got all of these young men pining after you. What are you doing to them? Is this like what Stephenie Meyer wished her high school experience was? Because honestly, I don't blame you, Steph. Write one from my perspective. I want to have werewolves and vampires and regular people all fawning after me. I do. Especially as a 16-year-old girl. Because from what I see, Bella is pretty, but she ain't really nothing special. I don't know. So I'm just like, what? Is it because she's the sheriff's daughter? And they're all criminals? Last thought about relationships. How in the world is anyone supposed to be Team Jacob when Edward and Bella have all of this chemistry and tension? How is anyone supposed to look me in the eyes seriously and be like, I'm Team Jacob? Based on that, maybe I'll find out. I just don't see how. I mean, I'm only 5 chapters in, but how are you Team Jacob? What does he bring to the table? Maybe he just brings a table. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I just had to find out, how are all these men pining after you, girl? I want to know. I want to know how you got the werewolves howling for you, girl. I'm laying my edges before I go to work, so don't mind the scarf, okay? But I am about 50% of the way through Twilight, and I am really trying to read this from the perspective of a 12, 13-year-old. I feel like that's probably, so far, I don't know. That was around the time it came out for me. This came out in 2005, so I was 11. I think that might be a little too young, so I'm trying to put myself in the mind of like a young teenager. And as much as I'm cringing, I am loving this. Yeah, I am feeling so much nostalgia from this book, and I didn't even read it when it came out, but there's just something, I think just like knowing how much so many people love this series, it's giving me a really big sense of nostalgia, and I am loving it. It was raining yesterday. I listened to a lot of this on audio because I just don't really have a ton of time to sit and read. And luckily with my job, I can put earbuds in and listen to this all day, but let me tell you what's happening. I don't know where we left off. I think last time I left off, I was talking about how Bella be pulling all these men. I am on chapter 12. We have met Jacob Black. Bella knows that Edward is a vampire. She met Jacob Black when she was it Port Angeles? I think it was Port Angeles. Jacob Black was like, the Cullens, they're vampires, they're blood drinkers, we call them the cold ones, they're banned from this land, da 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 da. And Edward, we know Edward's not 17. He's much older. I don't know how old he is yet, but I think I will find that out in this book. Edward and Bella are now a little bit more public in school because, you know, they went to dinner when he was driving her back from, I think it was Port Angeles again. They were at dinner, they were getting close, now they're eating lunch together at school. Billy Black is at her house right now. What I love about this is how like obvious Stephenie Meyer makes everything. The first time we see Jacob, she's like, someone walks up to me and speaks in a low, husky voice. He's obviously a werewolf. And she's like, oh, his voice is so husky and his hair is so hairy. Okay, girl, we get it. And then Edward, he's so pale. I can see right through his skin and his eyes twinkle. He doesn't eat any food and his eyes were black one day and I never saw him again. And then it's like we come to know that like they were talking about blood in science class and he just could not freaking bear talking about blood because that would make his senses a little too strong or something, him uncomfortable, whatever. We know that he can read minds based on like proximity. So I think he said he has like a 3-mile radius where he can read people's minds, but he could not read Bella's mind. That is something that I'm invested in. Why can he not read her mind? We're at Bella's house. Edward is dropping her off. There is Edward, Bella, Jacob is now there, which I know that there is a Bella, Edward, Jacob love triangle. And Billy Black is now there, who is Jacob's father. And the cold ones and the werewolves, I don't think they like each other very much. Bella's had some like weird dreams about Jacob turning into a werewolf. So we're about to get into the nitty gritty and I'm really excited. I'm going to finish this today. So I'll check back in later. I have a little bit more of the book left, but this man, Edward, is fine. I know what he looks like. I know it's Robert Pattinson, but I need to hear him speak. I haven't ever heard Edward speak, but from what I'm reading in here, that man is fine. He is so fine. But I want to know what this apple has to do with anything. What is this? It's giving like Snow White a little bit, and Bella is basically Snow White. I hope that I continue to enjoy this. I know what this is. I don't think the writing is the best writing I've ever read, but I am enjoying it. It's entertaining. I'm like wanting more of the story. I'm reading it fast. I am so happy I'm reading this. I never thought I would. Definitely didn't think so when I was younger because I did not read, but I am so happy I'm reading this. And I've been kind of vlogging or posting my journey on my TikTok and Instagram, and there are so many other people who are my age, in their 20s, 30s, even some people in their 40s who are like, I just read this for the first time, and that just makes me feel good about it. You know what I mean? Like, people of all ages enjoy this, but I always try to read with an open mind, so I had no expectations for this, but it's been so fun. It's so fun, but this is a library book. And I think I need to return it in like a day or two. So I need to get this done. Oh, I'm so excited. I feel like I need to dance. All right, I know y'all are sick of me, so I'm gonna get off now. Before I even resume talking about this book, I just need to say, if you are a Southern belle, as I am, make sure you're taking cover from the cicadas, because they're here, baby. I hear them. Anyway, I can't really find anywhere that I like to sit the camera down, so I'm gonna hold it on my steering wheel. Here we go. 1901? Edward was born in 1901? That would make him 1,023 years old. Oh, wait. 2,000. 123 years old. I'm a reader, not a mathematician. Anyway, we're gonna act like that didn't happen. He is old as dirt, is what I'm trying to say. And also too, this man watches Bella Swan sleep at night. Hello? If anyone ever said, first of all, if anyone that drank blood was trying to court me, I'm taking you to court. Get out of my face, okay? So you drink blood, you can move at the speed of light, you can read people's minds, you drink blood, you can sneak in and out of places before people even know you're there, you drink blood, you go hunting, you're a vampire, you can't be out in the sun? Why are we not afraid of you? I'm afraid of you. I'm very afraid of you. So what had happened was that I am on, let me see. So they're like in the forest, and Edward just kind of gave some more background info on how Carlisle came to have these kids in their possession. They have all like had blood issues or were like close to dying, and he took them in. I don't quite know how they transformed into vampires yet. Maybe I should know that. Okay, I'm on chapter 14. I am about to be on chapter 15, and I think that is the chapter where we learn a little bit more about the Cullens as a family. I know that there are a couple of them that are married. They've been married a couple times or something like that. I don't freaking know. I don't want this to be over, but I wanted to run out to my car and just make a couple of comments. I actually wrote some in my notes. Oh wait, okay. So when she's trying to drive home from the forest, right? And he's kind of given some background of how old he is, a little bit more about his family, and they have Bella's old truck out there, and she's like, I want to drive, and he's like, friends don't let friends drive drunk. And she's like, I'm not drunk. And then he's like, you're intoxicated by my very presence. The way I would have fainted if someone said that to me, especially if it were true. And like, he's pronounced his love for her, and I don't freaking get it. Bland Bella, what does Bland Bella do for you, Edward? You're a vampire. You're the most intriguing person in your entire school. And you want Bella? He must be using her for something. There's got to be some reason why he is so obsessed with her. And he just is also so obsessed with like her being safe all the time. He's like, I would rather die than let anything hurt you. Why? What's the reason? What was the reason? Huh? I would love to know. Anyway, this is like very insta love, very cringe. I love it though. I am in the mind of a 14-year-old girl right now. I'm thinking back to 8th grade KK. She would have really enjoyed this, and she would have wanted to marry a vampire, probably. Again, how does Jacob Black stand a chance? I don't think he does. I'm wondering about all the Team the Team Jacobs people. I'm worried about you guys, because what is going to happen in this book that could ever sway you away from Bedward? What do you mean Carlisle is 367 years old? I am befuddled beyond my wildest dreams. I'm finding out all the ages of these Cullens because Bella Swan has now somehow found her way to the Cullens household. And let me tell you something. If anybody ever told me if I could even slip up this much, I could murder you, because wait a minute, I'm a vampire and I can move at the speed of light, and I can sneak in and out of your house at will and watch you sleep for multiple nights in a row. I'm on the first train out of there. When is the first train out of Forks? Because if anybody told me those things and were so bold as to inform me of that information, I'm out of there. I'm gone. Immediately. I'm not stopping. I'm not passing go. I'm not collecting $200. I'm out of there. Bella, your decision making is abhorrent. Appointment, important, all of that. It's all of that. And you're not giving what you need to give, girl. I am on page 334. We are on chapter 16, the Carlisle chapter. Dr. Lyle's chapter, and we're finding out all the tea. We're sipping tea and crumpets. I'm finding out way more than I would like to, but also, where is this all going? How does Jacob Black tie into this? Because I know one of the big storylines is like Edward versus Jacob fighting for Bella, but there's like 150 pages left of this book. Right now we're focusing on the Cullens. Is there even really room for Jacob Black to be in this book? So I'm confusion. So I'm just trying to figure out where everything ties in, because that's about the only thing I knew about the book coming in was Edward versus Jacob. We're going to be learning more about Carlisle and really how all this started, I'm assuming. I think that from what I know, a lot of people dislike vampires. Don't blame you. Do not blame you at all. So I feel like there is going to be some sort of semblance of like a great war between species. Like, we've been introduced to the werewolves, and then we know like the blood drinkers or the cold ones or whatever they call vampires. And we know that Carlisle's dad or one of his relatives' ancestors did something. I already forgot what I read. Anyway, so we're gonna go find all of that out. That's my prediction. I don't really know, but I'm just gonna assume, since we're kind of building up like Bella's getting to know the vampires. And also, I don't know if I trust the Cullens. I don't really even know if I trust Edward. Do not tar and feather me, but the way that they're just so welcoming of Bella is not... What's the real tea? You're that welcoming of an outsider. Like, she either has some significance in the case of helping vampires survive. Like, I could see her being the key to unlocking like the secret to, I guess vampires are already immortal. She has to tie into something, right? Like, she has to have some importance, because why is Edward so just obsessed with her? He is obsessed. If a vampire was ever obsessed with me, I don't care how fine and sparkly you are, baby. I gotta go. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. And that's on period, and I mean that. So we're gonna finish this up. I'm listening on audio at work, so I'm excited to finish this up today, and I'll check in with my final thoughts. How many times have I said that filming this? Well, probably not that many, because I've probably edited all of them out, because I know now that it was in fact not gonna be me returning with my final thoughts. But this time I'm serious, okay? If you're seeing this, know that the next scene is gonna be me done with the book. Okay, hey, we're finishing this book today on camera. I have 2 more chapters left. Okay, so basically we found out that Edward was talking all that crap about keeping Bella safe just to lead her perfectly to a, what do they call it? A tracker. He has led basic boring Bella perfectly to a tracker. So this should be good. We're at the part where he lures Bella to her old dance studio, which is funny because I am binging Dance Moms right now. So now I am reading the last, I think it's like the last 50 pages. I'm on the Angel chapter, but for now, all you're gonna get is this bar cart with 2 water bottles that do not have a lid, goldfish, and Swedish fish. I'm a pescatarian. All right, let's finish this book and we'll get a live reaction. Things are starting to happen in the last like 20%, which I was wondering where all of this was going, right? So now I know. And I also, newsflash, vampires play baseball. Who would have thunk? The audiobook like helps me read faster and stay on task. Because if I sit here with this book looking out of this beautiful big window, propped up with snacks and water, I'm gonna end up being like this on TikTok. Not reading. So I think I'm going to... I don't think I finished my thought. I'm going to listen to the audiobook and read the last 50 pages. Just so we stay on track, you know? He has to suck the venom out of Bella. He has to suck her blood. Oh Lord. Not her heart stopped on the monitor when he kissed her. This is really cringy. Bella's in the hospital and Edward leans in to kiss her, and like the heart monitor that's attached to her, it stops beeping and he like freaks out thinking she's dying. And it's like, why did Stephanie Meyer write that her heart stopped? You know what? I'm gonna keep reading. Ew. Don't leave me. How many times does she say that to him? You'll be fine. You would be more than fine without him, in fact. I feel like he's the source of every single one of your problems right now. Edward is not better than the lottery. Sorry. He's not. I'm betting on Alice. As she should. I like Alice, I think. I don't really know who I like because they're vampires. So the capabilities are endless. And I'm aware of that. We're at the epilogue. We're almost done. Did you even see that? Yeah, yeah. Peekaboo. Charlie. I love Charlie. I wish he was my dad. Not he's 103 at prom. I want to see this prom scene. Because I know the Cullens was fine. Jacob Black's made another appearance. Oh, he had a ponytail? Did I know that? Okay, Jacob. Jacob is bold. He is bold to be flirting with Edward's girl. And Edward can read minds. Does he not know that? Maybe he doesn't know that. Decision making. Not good in this book. Bella is so irritating. I'm gonna give this 4 stars, and I'm gonna tell you why. This isn't my cup of tea, but the nostalgia, I've said that word so many times in this vlog. The nostalgia is doing it for me. Because I think I would give it a 3, but I'm gonna give it a 4 because of the nostalgia. And I know 13-year-old KK probably would have ate this up. Then again, Bella, girl, you're irritating. You are irritating. Why at 17 are you wanting to become a vampire forever? Like, I get it, because I was irrational at 17. But why is this girl not scared at all? She ain't scared of Nathan. I need to ponder on this a little bit more. Initial rating is 4 stars. I did enjoy it. Very cringy though. Very cringy, very 2005, very nostalgic, but that's also what I love about it. So I don't know, I can appreciate what it is. I would not pick this up for myself. I'm not a big fantasy girly. Basic boring Bella coming at you. And Jacob Black, I think he's about to start inching his way back in because he dances with her at prom. He's a little bit taller now. He's becoming kind of a man. I think he's a year younger than Bella. I think I'm gonna watch the movie before starting the second book because I need to see the Cullen family. I need to see the actors and actresses that play the Cullen family, because if they're not fine like I need them to be, Steph, pick up the phone. If you enjoyed this vlog, I will be vlogging the entire saga, so stay tuned for my next one. I don't know if I'm gonna vlog myself watching the movie. Maybe I will. Stick around for the next one and be sure to like and subscribe. Have a good night. All right. Bye, everybody.